Imagine a man whose icy stare could silence a room, a man who survived brutal battles in World War II, only to return home and conquer Hollywood with a voice so deep it felt carved from stone. His name was Lee Marvin, the rugged outsider, the rebel of the silver screen, and the actor who reshaped what it meant to be a true Hollywood tough guy. But behind that hard face was a story of trauma, courage, pain, and unexpected fame. Today, we dive deep into the extraordinary journey of one of cinema's most unforgettable legends. This is the complete life history of Lee Marvin. Lee Marvin was born on February 19, 1924, in New York City, into a family that carried both strict discipline and artistic curiosity. His father, Lamont Waltman Marvin, was a successful advertising executive, and his mother, Courtenay Washington, was a fashionable woman with Southern roots. From the very beginning, Lee was a boy who didn't fit the mold. He was restless, rebellious, and always searching for something, though he didn't yet know what that something was. Growing up, Marvin often clashed with the structured world around him. He attended several schools, but trouble followed him everywhere. He was expelled from more than one institution, mostly for behavioral issues and fighting. While his parents tried to guide him, young Lee never felt comfortable in classrooms. He spent more time outdoors, exploring nature, hunting, fishing, and wandering through forests. These early adventures forged his rugged personality and shaped the rough, strong image that the world would one day recognize on screen. But it wasn't school that prepared him for the future. It was war. When World War II broke out, Lee Marvin enlisted in the United States Marine Corps. He wasn't looking for glory, he simply wanted a purpose, something real. Serving as a scout sniper, he was thrown directly into some of the harshest battles of the Pacific War. He fought in the brutal Battle of Saipan, where he witnessed violence and suffering that would stay with him forever. During one attack, Marvin was shot in the foot by machine gun fire, and a mortar explosion tore through his leg. He spent over a year in the hospital recovering, carrying permanent injuries and lifelong pain. These war scars were not just physical. They shaped his temper, his moods, his worldview, and later, his characters. When you watch Lee Marvin on screen, the cold eyes, the heavy voice, the silent intensity, you see a man who had truly faced death. After being honorably discharged, Marvin returned home unsure of what to do next. He took odd jobs as a plumber's assistant, but fate had a surprising plan. One day, while repairing a toilet in a New York theater, he got into a conversation with actors backstage. They jokingly invited him to try acting. It sounded ridiculous, but something inside him said yes. And just like that, Lee Marvin's life took a dramatic turn. He joined a local theater group, and immediately, people noticed something powerful about him. His commanding presence, his natural toughness, and the authenticity he brought to each performance quickly caught attention. He wasn't trying to be a star. He wasn't trying to impress. He simply acted the way he lived, raw, honest, and fearless. Audiences were drawn to him. Eventually, he made his way to Hollywood, where studios instantly recognized his potential. Throughout the 1950s, Marvin appeared in several films, usually playing soldiers, outlaws, and villains. His rugged look and deep voice made him perfect for tough, gritty roles. He never complained, even when he was typecast as the bad guy, because he understood something essential: every character was a chance to tell the truth. Marvin stood out in movies like The Big Heat 1953, where he played a brutal gangster, showing the world he could deliver intensity that few actors could match. He then appeared in The Wild One alongside Marlon Brando, further building his reputation as a fearless performer. But while others pretended to be tough, Lee Marvin was tough, naturally, effortlessly, genuinely. Hollywood had never seen anyone quite like him. By the 1960s, his career reached a whole new level. His performance in Cat Ballou 1965 stunned audiences. Not only did he play two roles, a drunken gunslinger and an evil outlaw, but he brought both humor and danger to the screen with incredible skill. This performance earned him the Academy Award for Best Actor, cementing his place as one of Hollywood's most respected talents. His acceptance speech was short, humble, and classic Marvin style. He didn't brag, he simply smiled and thanked the industry for finally noticing him. As his fame rose, so did the demand for his unique talent. Films like The Dirty Dozen 1967 made him a global star. In that movie, Marvin played Major Reisman, a tough leader training a group of criminals for a dangerous mission. The role fit him perfectly, firm, commanding, and quietly emotional. The film became a worldwide hit and is still considered one of the greatest war movies ever made. Lee Marvin became known as the actor who never faked it. Every movement, every expression, every line felt real. And audiences respected him for it. Directors admired his honesty. Co-stars loved his sense of humor and loyalty. But behind the scenes, his life wasn't always easy. Like many veterans, Marvin struggled with trauma. The memories of war followed him everywhere. He battled periods of drinking, emotional difficulties, and inner conflict. Yet he kept working, turning his pain into powerful performances. In the 1970s and 80s, Marvin continued to appear in successful films, including Point Blank, Paint Your Wagon, and Hell in the Pacific. Each movie showed a different side of him, sometimes the silent killer, sometimes the rough hero, sometimes the lonely wanderer. No matter the genre, Lee Marvin brought authenticity. He never tried to look handsome. He never tried to be the perfect Hollywood star. He simply stayed true to himself. People admired that. In a world of polished, glamorous actors, Lee Marvin was rugged honesty. That made him unforgettable. Outside of acting, Marvin enjoyed a quieter life. He loved fishing, nature, and spending time away from the spotlight. He wasn't obsessed with fame. He didn't chase attention. Instead, he surrounded himself with people who understood him and appreciated his simple, straightforward personality. He married twice and had 4 children. His personal life had ups and downs, court cases, breakups, and public attention, but Marvin handled everything with the same stoic strength he brought to his characters. He wasn't perfect, but he was real. In his later years, health issues caught up with him, especially respiratory problems linked to his lifelong smoking habit and wartime injuries. His voice grew softer, his movements slower, but his presence remained powerful. Even when he stepped away from major film roles, Hollywood continued to honor him as one of its most legendary figures. On August 29, 1987, Lee Marvin passed away at the age of 63 from a heart attack. His death marked the end of an era. Fans around the world mourned the loss of a man who had given toughness a new meaning. His legacy still lives on, through his films, through his iconic characters, and through the impact he left on generations of actors. Today, when you hear that deep voice or see that intense stare on screen, you're not just watching an actor, you're witnessing a real warrior, a survivor, and a man who carried his truth everywhere he went. Lee Marvin didn't just play tough characters, he lived a tough life. And that is why he remains one of the greatest and most respected stars in Hollywood history. His journey from troubled schoolboy, to wounded war hero, to Oscar-winning actor is a powerful reminder that greatness doesn't always start perfect. Sometimes, greatness is shaped by scars, struggle, and raw courage. And that is the unforgettable story of Lee Marvin. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the life of Lee Marvin and want more amazing Hollywood history, then make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe to Celebrity History CHV, where legends never die.